Okay, hello guys, welcome to today's video. And today we are going to quickly look at estimating. So, what we want to learn after this video and what you should know is to understand what estimation means, as well as to use estimation for calculation accuracy. So, what is estimation? Estimation is the process of making an educated guess about the answer to calculate before solving it precisely. So, I want you to put a word guess with estimation. So, that's basically a guess you make in your head, more or less, what the answer at the end should be. So it says estimation helps it in quickly checking the reasonableness of the answer. It helps to determine an appropriate degree of accuracy in calculation. So that will only be more or less. And then if I say 2 plus 5 is 50, then you will go no. In your head, you will know more or less, or if the answer is accurate or not. In my case, in this example, 2 plus 5 is not 50. So you will know that case is wrong. But if I say 2 plus 5 can be plus minus 10, then it sounds better than 50, if it makes sense. Okay, why do we use estimation? Why do we, what do you call it? um, guess answers. It saves time. Estimation estimation saves time by providing quick feedback on whether answers are reasonable. It corrects errors. It will help identify and correcting errors in calculations. So critical thinking is also an important factor. Estimation prompts and critical thinking and mathematical institution. So basically, by just glancing at all your work, especially if there's not enough time left for you to quickly go through your test again, then you can estimate to see if your answers are more or less correct by guessing, estimating. Okay. How to estimate? So there are different ways we can estimate, including rounding numbers, simplifying calculations, and checking reasonableness. So by rounding numbers, to round numbers to the nearest convenient place value, like for tens or hundreds. Simplifying calculations, simplifying complex calculations by rounding or approximating values, or to compare. So other way is to check reasonableness, compare estimated answers to actual calculations to ensure they are close. Okay, other way is to use compatible numbers. So you choose numbers that are easy to work with, such as multiples of 10 or 100. Okay, so using estimation. So let's look at this first example, addition question. So means we have to plus. So the original calculation is 267 plus 198. Now with those complicated numbers, it will be more difficult for us to calculate. But how could we use estimation to answer this addition question? Let's use rounding for this example. So you can round 267 up to 270, and you can round 198 up to 200. So your answer will more or less be 270 plus 200. That will give you 470. So your actual answer, if you say 267 plus 189, is 465, but your estimated answer is 470. Do you see how close those two answers are? So by estimation, you can guess what the answer is going to be, more or less. Okay, let's quickly look at example 2. And this time we are going to use multiplication question and not addition. So the original question is 37 times 24, and let's work it out. How can we use estimation to answer this multiplication question? Let's use rounding again. So most of the time you're going to use rounding. If you look between all these types of ways, we will use rounding for the most of part. So what we will do is you will round 37 to 40, and you will round 24 down to 20. So you will say more or less 40 times 20, that will give us 800. And then our actual answer is 888. And yes, now it's 88 numbers more, but you will know just by estimation it will be close to 800 range between what do you call it, 800 and 900, and that's how you will get your answer. So you will know for a fact by doing this the answer won't be something with 280 or something like that, if it makes sense. Yeah. Estimation in the real world. So, for everything we learn in math, most of the time we will use somewhere in the real world. Even if you don't always think so, everywhere, everything is always math and calculated. So, people need to use estimation in their jobs to help them determine an appropriate degree of accuracy. For example, a carpet fitter will need to use an estimation to help them calculate the area of a room for carpeting. For prices, measurements, accuracy and is crucial. However, in certain contexts, a rough estimation may be okay and will save time and resources. So when you also go to builders and you say you want to paint your room, and they ask you how big your room is, they won't have a bucket for exactly your size room, but they will give you an estimation of how much paint you will more or less need. Have a go yourself. So now try this example on your own. So it says, look at the following calculation. Have you got an estimating the answer first? Then solve your answer using the formula calculations and see if your estimation was close. Okay, so A is 89 times 56. B says find the perimeter of a rectangle with sides measuring 37 meters and 25 meters. And then other way we can also ask it number C, 456 plus 297. Okay, check whether your estimation were close on the next slide. So first I want you to pause this video, do A, B, and C on your own, and then if you're done, go to the next slide, play the video again, and then you can see if you understand estimation. So I will give you time to pause quickly, and then we are going on. Okay, so here's the answer. Where your estimation was your estimation close to your actual answer? So 89 times 56 is 4,984. And remember, we don't know that you estimated and rounded to the nearest 100, nearest 10. What did you do? Again, according to this slide, which method did you choose? So we can't actually see by just estimating, but was your answer close with number A for 4,984, or and B 124 meters? And remember your units, so that meter needs to be in, and by C 753. If so, well done. So it doesn't have to be that exact answer. Remember, estimation means guessing, but it must be in a range more or less. So let's quickly recap. Estimating means to make an educated guess about an answer to calculate before solving it. Using rounding to simplify calculations is an easy way to estimate and a useful mathematical skill. Thank you guys, and I hope you understand estimation by the end of this video. Good luck with your work and see you next time.